Welcome to 7th House Astrology Podcast. I'm Heather, and I am here to talk about the messy, beautiful, and sometimes exhausting world of relationships. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. So this week has been a doozy, or last week, I should say. We had Pisces new moon on March 18th at 28 degrees. So if you have any planets or points within 5 degrees, then you should feel this new beginning. And Jupiter stationed direct on March 10th in Cancer at 15 degrees. So any of the cardinal signs, Cancer, Libra, Aries, and Capricorn, should have felt a shift in optimism. And finally, Mercury retrograde in Pisces is finally over and stationed direct on March 20th at 8 degrees, but we still have the shadow and we are not in the clear yet. I don't know about you, but this retrograde got me and affected me on a daily basis. It was in my 6th house, so all of my daily routines were affected. It was awful. Even the day Mercury went direct, I left my glasses in the gutter out in front of my house, sat there all day, did not get ran over, thank goodness, but could have. And I also forgot my sun hat at the pool at my friend's house. Yeah, all in one day. So frustrating. So let's get into it. Have you ever wondered why you have amazing chemistry with someone, but your communication is a total train wreck? Or why some people just get you without a single word? The answer is usually hiding in your Synastry chart. And today, we're getting into planetary pairs, specifically the big boss of the chart, the sun. I will be breaking down the 5 major aspects and how they dictate whether your egos will build an empire together or will you go to war. So before we get started, let's set the stage. When I look at the sun, I use big orbs, 10 to 15 degrees, because the sun shines the brightest. The closer the orb, the more powerful the pull. So if you have a conjunction forming a 5-degree orb or closer, then the energy will be pretty potent. If the degrees match to the exact, then you can't ignore this. It's very, very strong. I will cover the positive and negative sides of the sun because at the end of the day, the energy's there, but you decide how you want to live your life. Keep in mind, the sun is your ego. And what I mean by this is the sun is our evolution. The sun is our availability to exist, your identity, your soul's journey. The sun, which is yang and is on the masculine side and represents our consciousness and the light we shine. The sun represents power, desire in your pursuits, not so much sexually as that is more Mars energy. The sun is learning to express itself in this lifetime. The sun is teaching us independence, integrity, developing our libido, but not in a sexual drive libido, but more of a Jungian meaning. Carl Jung saw libido as more as a psychic energy. Other key words for the sun are parenting, famous or powerful people, masculinity. The sun archetype is the hero. So where can you be your hero? It's our physical energy and authority figures. When your sun falls into someone else's chart, you are exerting your ego onto them and vice versa. This can be used to encourage them, or if someone isn't conscious of their behavior, there's a potential to control. All right, let's begin. First step. Sun conjunct the sun. This is when your sun is in the same sign as their sun, or is in that field of degree orb. This is the same page energy. This energy can make you feel comfortable and seen. You can identify strongly with each other's creative side and goals and sense of being. It's incredibly generous and supportive conjunction. Only if the egos stay in check, though. Your vitality and energy are on the same point, and there's a strong physical attraction that is felt by both of you. Sometimes I find this aspect in couples who are too much alike, especially if they are closer in age, when they share a ton of the same planets in the same sign. I have a friend, and his chart is almost identical to mine, as we are only a few days apart. The only thing that is different is our sun degree and moon placements, and we get along fantastic. It's possible that one person may feel like a teacher or a parent, since the sun represents a parent and traditionally refers to the father, although I find this can be either or. My mother is fully represented by the sun in my chart. With this said, this could be great for matchup of parent-child relationships as you both share the same goals and the child can follow and admire their first parent. I'll give an example of two sons. Let's say two sons in Taurus would love a day at home, watching TV and never leaving the house. So having both of your sons in Taurus can lead to homebodies who love to tinker around. Two Cancers can spend all day cooking a great meal together and then taking a walk on the beach or through the neighborhood with their families or their fur babies. Two Sages may need to have an adventure. Two Geminis might like to embrace their curiosities. We can just go on and on. With the sun conjunct the sun, the other person will have you feeling like a shiny queen or king, and they will make you feel seen. Depending on the other aspects, could cause more friction. Let's say the sun is in detriment in Aquarius and you have your two suns in there. That can change the energy and vitality of that specific conjunction. On the negative side, this can turn into a battle of egos, especially in fire and air signs. Let's say both suns are in Aries. Well, there could be some competition or selfishness on one partner. There could be some aggression if one of the partners is holding repressed anger. This will show up in their behavior. Does this person support your path, or are they trying to outshine you? Remember, this will be a dominant masculine energy for both suns in Synastry. Both of you want to lead, so coming together as a team will encourage this. If the sun is in a calmer signs, then working together can be a bit softer. Look at the signs and the houses these two suns fall into to get more of an idea of how this is playing out for you. Also, remember, there will be other aspects to your sun and theirs, so you have to keep this in mind. Another thing here is maturity. Not everyone having their sun in the same sign has the same maturity level. I've met 50-year-olds who act 5 when their egos are challenged. So maturity is key here. Overall, this conjunction can bring amazing teams together, or a team could be in competition. Next, Sun Sextile Sun, which I call our support systems, and forms 60-degree angle and are 2 signs apart and usually the smallest blue lines to make it easy for people who are not astro fluent, which when I was learning drove me crazy because I don't do math. So it took me a while. I love this aspect though. It's friendly, it's supportive, and long-term. Your energies just match. This can also be the friendliest aspect and has marriage potential. And who doesn't want to marry their best friend, right? Sun Sextile Sun also feels seen by each other and has more dynamic energy than, let's say, a Trine. As a Cancer Sun, I see this all the time with my Virgos and Taurus friends and family and lovers, really. They just show up and care for me. This is fantastic for friendships and creative projects. There's a lot of play here. If one person's ego is out of control, it can be draining. But for the most part, this is a helpful and supportive energy. Look at the signs to let you gain more perspective on how that is playing out for you. Let's stick with Taurus. Taurus sextiles Cancer and Pisces, both water signs. Well, water is fluid and constantly flowing with emotion, and that sweet Taurus energy helps ground the emotional flows of the water signs. Let's use Aries fire signs. It's sextiled by Aquarius and Gemini, 2 air signs. This can bring the energy support of inspiration, and both may be very extroverted, whereas the Taurus sextile can be more introverted couples. Yeah, so just look at the signs, 2 signs on each side. And next, the sun square the sun, which I like to say the productive itch. Now, let's talk about the squares. People get weirded out by the squares, which form a 90-degree angle and are the short red lines covering 3 signs. But I call these the action aspects. A square is like an itch. You have to scratch. It's constant. It picks at you and it demands your attention. This is where the ego is really seen, especially when there is an itch that needs to be scratched. The problem with the sun, square sun, is who's going to be the leader, the star, or the authoritarian in the relationship. In a square, you might meet resistance in your self-expression, sex life, or even your core values. This could be someone who drains you. This can lead to resentment or power struggles, especially in the workplace or when raising children, and why so many couples go to marriage therapy after having kids. Again, the sun wants to shine, and if someone who is not conscious of the ego drives can run another person down with their will and vitality. There could be a sense of judgment with this aspect as well. If one partner is overly oppressed, this can be power control situation in the relationship. But here's the positive. Ease doesn't make us move. Friction does. If the rest of the relationship is strong, a square is the spark that forces you to make moves and changes for the better for you, your partner, and your relationship. It's the itch that leads to the growth. There can be and most likely will be some disagreements because a ton of your core values are slightly different. Depending on other aspects of the charts, the squares can be super helpful. It really depends on the soul growth and maturity of the two individuals involved that will structure this aspect. Okay, so now we have Sun trine the Sun. In astrology, when we have a trine, your suns are in a 120-degree angle of each other. They are the long blue lines in the chart. This is easy flowing energy. I call it the fluffy cloud. You're aligned, your values match, both your life goals are in agreement, and mutual compatibility of future pursuits. However, it may not be like super hot attraction, but more seen as like life partner compatibility. They are here to support each other, and it's an easy flow. Elements will help you realize this. Fire signs inspire each other. The earth signs have a supportive, practical side to the relationship. Air signs, you two will love to learn new things together and have easy communication. Water signs will support each other emotionally. In the days that people believed only in sun signs, we're usually told their best matches are trines or sextiles. That's why when you read compatibility in sun signs like Gemini and Libra, Cancer, Scorpio, they basically form a trine. However, that doesn't mean anything unless you're looking at the whole chart. But in general, it's pretty supportive. There's also a natural attraction that often leads to marriage or deep friendship. It's beautiful for parent-child relationships as well. The danger. Trines lack the kick or spark of a square. Because it's so comfortable, you might stay in a relationship even if it's not good for you. If your partner has a heavy Pluto or Saturn aspects alongside the trine, you might find yourself stuck in a controlling situation simply because the easy sun energy makes it hard to leave. All right. Last but not least, Sun oppose Sun, the opposition. This is a 180-degree angle and are the longest red line. It's a relationship axis in itself. If you listen to episode 3 and 4, it's your polarities. So you can go back and listen to those 2 episodes and get a little bit more understanding of the opposition. You are looking at the opposite of yourself. It's a mirror. There is a magnetic for marriage and partners because you can balance each other out perfectly. However, because it's the sun, you have to watch for those ego clashes. One person might try to be the boss, leading to a tug of war for control. Sex will be great and dynamic, but if one person is off, so's the balance of the axis. It's important that being able to see each other is helpful. Parent-child, this can be great. I see this with my son and granddaughter. There is a sense of admiration on both ends. But if the parent is too authoritarian, then there can be some clashes of the kids, typical sayings, my parents just don't get me, my gosh. That's typical kids, yeah, but we see that a lot in polarities. Trust, I have it with me and one of my children. This aspect is great with coworkers. This can be opposites attract due to the complementary strengths of the elements. These two oppositions can work well together, but like with anything and everything of the sun, if the ego is out of alignment, so will the relationship. All right, those are the aspects. When you're looking at these aspects, keep these key terms in mind. Parenting, power, ego, identity, soul's journey, authority, life force. These are just a few of the hundreds of key terms when it comes to the sun. Now, go look at your chart, your partners, friends, family, or coworkers, and what aspects are your suns making? Is it an itch you need to scratch? Or are you sitting on a fluffy cloud? Or are you looking at yourself? Let me know. Please also send me any kind of planetary pairs you are looking for. If you find something in your chart and your partner's chart and you want more clarity on it, write me in a listener question in my email in the notes. You can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. What else do I have? Threads, I think. And you can also get readings with me on my website. You can check out all my readings. Everything is in the show notes. Thank you for listening. Please make sure to follow and share the show. I think next week we might be diving into more sun aspects to other planets, or I might start working on the signs. I don't know. I'm a Libra rising. I'm indecisive. We'll find out what we get next week. Anyway, have a good week, y'all. Bye.